Okay, so it should be okay now. Are there two Georges or? because it is impossible to truly express the silence. We use words, but what we are trying to express is the silence. Which is the silence of the universe. Which may not appear to be silent. And yet it is absolute silence. Which is the silence of our true self. The presence. It is within this silent presence that the play which we call life, my life, takes place within and embraced, imbued by the silence of presence. Our stories about ourselves and our tribe, our emotions, they appear within this silent presence. Which is always there. Throughout our experience. this presence is not my presence or your presence. There are no actual borders or delineations within presence. There are no links within presence. It is one, uninterrupted and uninterruptible. So as presence, as awareness, as this silent beingness, there is no beginning and ending. There is no separate me and separate you. There's no separation. It's just one borderless field of beingness. Awareness, consciousness. What makes it my consciousness, my presence, my silence, my awareness? What is this myness, this my personal aspect? What is that made of? Could it be a habitual tendency to resist, somehow resisting thoughts appear which say no to this, out of the notion that there is somebody to protect. How can anything be protected from life, being that there is nothing separate from life? Of course, we light the fire when it's cold, open the windows when it's warm. But there is no resistance in that. There is a flow, an easy, harmonious flow. When we are not trying to maintain or protect our imaginary self and our imaginary tribe in our imaginary future. Things get pretty messy and complicated when we create imaginary borders. Imagine ourselves separate as a separate self, a separate consciousness, separate from others. Which is not necessary for a harmonious interaction in a harmonious life. In fact, separating ourselves is the party pooper, the spoiler. Which leads to aggressive behaviors, disharmonious relationships. Egoic or hurtful actions. But my consciousness is your consciousness. It's the same. We are the same being. The same essence expressing itself in so many different forms. But the multiple expressions of beingness do not imply a separation. Our worries are always about the imaginary me. this belief that I end with my body, that I am limited to the body, that I am a body-mind character. This belief that we live out every day, okay, like a straitjacket, which we put on identify with a bundle of thoughts and images and feelings. We become some sort of character which we maintain with our beliefs and opinions. While there are no borders to being, to our reality. No beginning, no ending. Somehow, sometimes we hear that, but we don't trust it. We want to believe it, or maybe we even get it, but we hold back. See, how could it be that I have no beginning and ending? I get it, but I've been so habituated to live as a mortal being. How can I let go of that? Can I hold on to both? Can I hold on to the understanding that this silent presence, I have no beginning and ending, and at the same time, I am mortal? You can't stand in both camps. That which is can never not be. That which is not has never been and can never be. Which are you? that which is and can never not be. Or that which is not and can never be. Okay, so if you have any questions, anything that you would like to explore, please make sure you unmute your mic and welcome turn on the video if it's not turned on. So any questions?
Magdi,
Salut Shiva.
salut mon cher. I'm just checking in with you.
Yes, hello.
Long time no speak.
Yes, yes.
That was very beautiful, that everything is contained within the silence, the whole dream of life and all these thoughts and, you know, stories and whatever. And it's kind of this sort of collective dream we are in. And it feels like something is waking up to itself somehow. Maybe it's because in this individuation there's more. Can you hear me? There's a lot of wind. Is it clear what I can you hear me? Okay.
I hear you and I hear the wind. Actually, a little bit choppy also.
Today, I mean, it's totally crazy. Yeah, it's like times 10 when it comes. So let me know if you can't hear me. I don't need to share. I just felt I wanted to say hello. You can hear me well, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. Yeah. So I was saying, so maybe there is the individuation or the expression of the one, which in its imaginary progress is coming to a more clarity, or so it's suddenly able to see that that's the case for everybody, so that compassion is actually the most natural thing in the world, and understanding is the most natural thing in the world. And what I see a lot is in my own pattern past, and also in the so-called others, that a lot of the ignorance of separation is transmitted through pain. And it feels that in the ignorance of being separated, the infliction of pain on oneself equals the infliction of pain on the so-called others. So it's this kind of like transmission vicious circle which is happening, and which is so often completely unaware for most people. I mean, quote unquote people, you know what I mean? So it's this kind of like dream within a dream kind of thing, where we're just super limited way inflicting pain on ourselves and on each other. So in exponential increase of global fear about basically everything, and this kind of sort of like whole mechanism suddenly starts making a lot of sense. Not that anything has to make sense, because it's not about causality or anything like that, but it feels like in the seeming dream that we all individually and globally going through, this pain factor is tremendous. And then the question was like, I mean, I guess in my life, the question was mainly how to deal with pain, because the pain inflicted in my childhood and adolescence was so intense that there was no way I could not deal with it.
Yes.
It was too, some people have a lesser amount and they can sort of like put it in the second, underground of their being and kind of cope with it. And when they get older, it sort of generally comes back out. But for me, that was never the case, because it was always too intense. So there was a lot of dealing with it. And as you know, there's been a lot of different strategies about it, expressing it, non-expressing it, therapy, living alone, wisdom seeking. I mean, ultimately, if I look down into that story, then I see that most of it has actually happened basically naturally. It's like a wounded animal seeks shelter, or licks the one bark which can actually help it. Also, it's not conscious at all. It's a sort of like natural progression. And so it's recently been my mother, which is funny, because it comes always to the people who are somewhat karmically linked. I mean, and that sort of idea of karma, and I can see her pain, and I can see how unconscious it is, and I can see something wanting to respond to it in the same way, either by sort of like counterattacking or running away from it. And so it's this the last of the Mohicans, somehow it feels. So maybe, I don't know if there's anything you want to say about it. It's just some rambling stream of consciousness. Excuse me, everybody, if that's been too long. I mean, I just sort of felt I wanted to shoot something out into the universe. I can't see you anymore for some reason. I see the elderly gentleman. I don't know. You know.
Yeah, but I do see you.
Oh, it's coming back. Yeah.
Okay. So.
Alrighty. So that's it.
Okay, Shiva. So, pain, both, I guess, physical pain and psychological pain, but mostly psychological pain.
I've got a note here.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. There was somebody else in the line.
Okay.
Uh-oh, now you're gone. Oh, here you are.
Okay.
There was somebody else in the line. It wasn't my voice.
All right. So I think maybe Holger will. Okay. Now, so pain, both psychological pain and physical pain, but mostly psychological pain, because this is more what we are talking about. It's part of the mix, like we all know. You know, I know. I mean, it's part of the mix. It's part of the path. It's part of the spice in life that somehow, at some point, brings us to start questioning and wondering and exploring the meaning of it. What is it about? What's the significance of it? So, but whenever you come to presence, you sort of like relax into being, just sort of, hang out in this space between thoughts, in this space between memories, between images, between, that when you're hanging in that space, it's peace. It's peace. And it's also, it's the nowness. It's the true now, it's the now that is not sort of tripping in, in all sorts of, and memories, traumas, feelings, that trying to sort of figure the trip out mentally and psychologically, and trying to sort of find the right feeling around all of it.
Oh, Jesus, yes.
Yes. Yeah. So there is those moments where we're like just hanging in this presence, in this, I don't know what the word is, like in this not knowing being, not in God's space, in God's arms. I don't know what the word is. I
love it, Magdi. It's like, let's say this from now on, which is like, let's hang in presence. It's very cool. I love it. Let's hang in presence. Hallelujah.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Right. Absolutely. Because what's the other option?
Exactly. The other option is just BS, I mean, major.
It's the download, and the
right.
flip, and the flipping it over, and like flipping the pancake over and flipping again and flipping it again, enough.
Right.
Yeah. So, and in terms of pain of people around us, people we love, and friends, and even people we may not even be close to, we can sense their pain as part of our our transparency. We sense the the wind, we sense the heat, we sense the tremor of the earth, we sense the moisture of the air, we sense each other, we sense each other because there is no wall between me and you. There is no wall between you and the others. It's open, so you sense it, you get, you feel it in a way, but it's part of the empathy or the compassion or it's part of our interconnection, our interconnectivity. It's also part of what the cosmos is doing. The entire cosmos is engaged in that, in whatever we're experiencing, because we're connected to the universe. We're not separate from the cosmos. But in presence, the entire cosmos is, no matter what it's doing, there is the peace. And somehow I have a sense that that's, in terms of healing, that's the true healing. That's really where, we're healing. That's the healing itself, is presence. And in a way, I dare to say that it's available to us if we sort of open ourselves unknowing to it. We say, okay, I don't need to know you, but I'm here, in as presence. I'm available for presence to be whatever it is. We don't need to figure it out, but it's sort of like hanging presence, sink deep within being, sinking deep within being, without destination, without a destination.
Yeah, the old operating system is seen for what it is, and it's not. It's not even a question that it's happy or painful or whatever, which might or might mean not be the case, but it's so less. It's just, I feel that once presence is tasted, it's impossible to not somewhat automatically go back into it more and more and more and more.
Yes, I get it.
This is also our saving grace, I guess, in this paradigm of separation, is that once we are inculcated, then there's no way. I remember Mujibata always talking about that. He said, I detonate a time bomb inside of you. And so once you are infected with truth, you cannot possibly ever fully get away from it. And he said, the only difference is that some of you are rabbits. And in the moment I inculcate you with the truth, you're like, bang, bingo, you wake up. And most of you are rhinoceroses, so they can run for a long time, but at some point it will achieve you. So it really feels like that. It's this sort of like inavailability. Attends, c'est pas, comment on dit?
Inevitability?
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Not availability, but I can't say it. Sorry.
Inevitability.
But you know what I mean, right?
Yes.
So it's this kind of like, that's it. So,
presence.
But what I sense, to come back to this sort of pain body story, and she's the sweetest person in the world on many ways, in many levels. And I would say 75% of the time, she's basically a very good copy of a female saint, and motherly love and support and all this. And then 25% of the time, she goes from Dr. Jekyll into Mr. Hyde. and it's only her pain body speaking. And it's amazing because it shows in the very first seconds. Then, you know, I do FaceTime with her, so I see her face, and I can see it, I can feel it, and then it's just going that route of guilt and accusation and negativity and fear, and she's just like a little debiting machine. She's just pushing it out, you know. And I'm her closest human being on this planet, or so she thinks. And so it's kind of like it's amazing to see that, because it's now since what I spent 5 weeks with her, which was an amazing, I don't want to say challenge, but to stay in presence with her for 5 weeks in person, in the body. And now it's like 3 months since that. And it's, honest to God, it feels like every 3-4 weeks, she has a major pain body eruption. And then it's sort of like, okay, it's not really something I appreciate a lot. If it happens in me, I don't particularly, I mean, who is the one who's not appreciating it? It's then always the question, you know? And it's sort of like, can I be completely transparent and completely present, even if I am in full onslaught mode? When that whole old paradigm thing is hitting me hard, either through, in this case, my mother, or even my own thoughts or something. Not that it hasn't really happened that much anymore, but it's just sort of like, and then the universe normally tells me, and sometimes I'm just like letting her have it, and I say, what the hell is going on? Or sometimes I'm just like, oh, okay, love you too, and let's speak another time. So, but in either case, it doesn't really linger anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, that's good. That's good.
It's not preoccupying my system anymore. And then it's like, yeah, okay, we don't talk for a while. And it's kind of like it's I so see it, because it's all of us. I mean, I love my mom, I really do. And something is beyond that I love mom thing, where I know we are one, and that she's here also to teach me something really important. And so I'm not refusing or resisting the experience. At the same time, it's sort of like, I see the pain, you know, in her. I see the pain. And there is something which reaches out to her somehow.
Yes. Yes.
And it's not automatically clear, you know. It's not automatically by saying, oh, I love you, or trying to fix it for her, or trying to explain it, or shouting at her, or like being quiet. It doesn't really matter, because the energy is already there. It's just sort of like unfolding somehow. So it's a very...
the extent to which we recognize the other as ourself, you know, already that's, in a way, the job is done. You know, this inner recognition that the other is myself.
Yeah.
And that's a silent recognition. And then how we interact, it depends on the circumstance. It depends on what is being shared. But above all is this inner recognition that the other is myself.
And you know, that's so key what you say. So key. What I find very interesting, I mean, interesting, such a stupid word. What I find really is such a revelation for me, is that for most of my life, I was running around with an idea of self. And I realized that idea of self was completely fictitious.
Yeah.
You know, the Wolfgang I used to be, even the Shiva I used to be, like the spiritual self, the seeker, the what, the blah, the
Yeah.
it's a pipe dream. It's a complete pipe.
It's the path is paved with insights, with understandings, and as we are on the path, there is more and more understanding, and the understanding affects the mind, and it dissolves the ignorance and brings us more and more to to sort of a more stable understanding. Yeah, so it's beautiful that when we look back, of course, we traveled the path that we traveled because that was our path. In a way, it's inevitable. Whatever our path is what it is, and whatever we went through, whatever we experienced, whatever images or identities or identifications we had, that was part of what brought us to where we are now with the understanding that we have now, and we remain open and never to sort of create a new image, an improved image or an improved personhood, because that's why to be special. I mean, why we are everybody and everything, not any particular body or any particular something.
Oh, Magdi, I'm so sorry. I gotta go. It's raining pretty heavily. Okay. Love to talk.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
So good.
So any questions? Any questions? Hello, Holger.
Hello, Magdi. Just not a question, just this sense of lack. If this is taken care of, then there isn't really any problem.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The sense of lack and the fear of ending, the fear of death. Once, if there is no sense of lack, absence of the sense of lack, then what's the problem? What's the issue? Life goes on. It's absence of sense of lack means that there's nothing missing, nothing that you're striving to attain. Of course, life goes on. You do what you need to do. You take care of the family, of the kids, of the house, the car, the work, your neighbors, whatever, your society, or whatever, is whatever life is, universe unfolds, you are this unfolding. Yeah, some teachers say some foolish things about, oh yeah, you can have have freedom and happiness at the same time. You feel angry and mad and so on. It's all part of it. No, not at all. There cannot be sense of lack, absence of sense of lack and negative emotions. How could it be? in your relationship with your partners, with your friends, at work. There is peace. It's harmonious. It's harmony. Sense of lack, the sense of limitation, they're all the same. Isolation, the envy, the jealousy, the anger, it's all arises from the sense of lack. So we go to the understanding, the core understanding, that what I refers to is not anything limited. I is this alive, living, silent, invisible presence. It's the elephant in the room. It's the reality which perceives. You can't pin it down. You cannot pin it down in any way, in any form. How can you speak of any lack when it comes to that which you cannot pin down in any way? That which you are, that which is, it's beingness, non-local, non-phenomenal, and yet absolute undeniably. Cannot deny being, cannot deny awareness, presence. So the understanding about reality is a core understanding, and it's an experiential understanding, because we're not referring about some concept, something you need to understand. It's about the understanding about being, about presence, about your experience, about your reality. It's not just some reality out there, the reality of consciousness, blah, blah, blah. No, it's one reality. The reality of consciousness is your reality. Your reality, meaning whatever it is that you consider you, or whatever it is that you consider not you, even, it's the same reality. The you and the not you are that same reality. So there isn't a you and a not you within one reality. I mean, as a way of speaking, we say you and not you, but it's when you contemplate your experience, how can you divide anything? How can you divide the ocean into this side of the ocean and that side of the ocean? It's indivisible. So in the music, there are notes, there are various notes. It's not just one music. No, it's a music. There are various notes, but the variety of notes does not mean it's separate. Separation, or doesn't mean two separate. It's the same wind, the same flow, the same energy, the same. That's appearing as so many different notes and shades and colors and shapes and forms and breath and thoughts and sensations.
La 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 la.
La 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 la.
Thank you, Magdi. Yes. Amazing.
Yes. To really see it directly, and to live, just live as this open being, as everything is myself. The entire world is my body. Everybody is myself, the same awareness, same consciousness. Live as that. See how it played out. There's nothing at stake. Just play it out. Play with it. Live it. And see how, what the harvest is. There will be a harvest. It's always a harvest. It's immediate. It's immediate freedom and joy and happiness immediately. What's better than that? Some future promise of being on the right side in heaven or something like that. I don't know what those things are. It's so beautiful, so beautiful. That's it. The true meaning of love, really true meaning of love is non-dual understanding, beauty, and appreciation. Gratitude for nothing and for everything, towards no one and towards everyone, from no one to everyone, from no one to no one. So the joy. So that life becomes a place of beauty, of play, of celebration, of love, of friendship, of appreciation, of gratitude, of joy, of sweetness.
So whenever there comes a feeling of doubt or fear, an exhaustion, anything negative, if it comes up, I can be sure that it's mostly it's not real. It's just the sense of separation. It's a separate self. It's the hypnotism.
It's 100% the belief I'm separate. Something is separate. There is a separate self. It's 100% that.
Wow! Yes.
Just remember your understanding. Remember your understanding. Whatever it is that was revealed to you in your understanding about truth, about consciousness, about reality, about the self, whatever. Remember your understanding. It's there for you. The understanding isn't like something that disappears. It's always there. Once you understand the earth is flat, it's or round, it's always there, always. The understanding is something you understood. Doesn't matter. There are so many understandings, so many insights. It doesn't matter which insight you go to. Understanding. And of course, one of the understandings is that suffering, unhappiness, doubt, as you said, is always about the person. Somebody is doubting something. There is nobody and no something to doubt. There is nobody to doubt and something to be doubted. But that's the download at that moment. It's somebody doubting something for themselves, on behalf of themselves, on behalf of their whatever security, their whatever. It's all fiction. It is fiction. It is fiction, but the fact that it's fiction doesn't mean that, okay, because it's fiction, we don't need to understand it. No, it's important to understand the process, to understand that, oh, it's fiction, to understand it, not to just say, oh, it's fiction, it's fiction. You have to understand that, in fact, there is as reality, because it's always about reality, because like you can draw a line. On one side is reality, on the other side is what? Non-reality doesn't exist. So there is no line to draw. You see, when you take a paper and you want to draw on one side the reality, on the other side, what are you going to put on the other side? Illusion? Illusion doesn't exist. So it's always about reality. So you always go to reality. Go to reality. What is it that is real? What is it that really is? What is really, really real? What is it that is real? It's always one thing: being. We call it consciousness, awareness, presence, stillness, silence, being. And it's a direct experience, and you can't. Just go and think, oh, let me see. Let me look in my toolbox and let me look through and find out what is it that is real in there. No, directly. You go directly to right here, right now. What is it that is real? Is it this computer, this table, this room, these sounds? Their appearances, Okay, they're here. Then now it's changed. Now it's something else. Now it's a different word. Now it's a different sound. Now it's silent. Now it's speaking. Now it's silent. So what is it that is real on our world? It's only the reality that we achieve, the reality that is consciousness around. Even when there is silence, it's presence. When there is sound, is presence. When there's a perception, it's presence. When there is no perception, presence. It's always a presence. Never ceases. You don't disappear between two thoughts, between two perceptions. Turn your attention to that gap, the gap between thoughts. So don't forget that truth cannot be expressed in words. Every word that I'm saying is just a metaphor. Every word.
The elephant in the room. Wow. Thank you, Magdi.
Okay, Holger. Thank you. Well, thank you all. Lovely to be with you, Frank, Fernando, Holger, Elomina, Shiva, hi George, hello Raoul, and my sweet Tara. Thank you all.
Thanks, Magdi, as always.
Okay, thanks, Frank.